Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Omajan Plays Minecraft. This is episode 13, so I'm pretty proud we've been going at this for almost 2 weeks. Here's to another 2 weeks, let's keep it going. Today, we basically just spend the entire episode making the village look nicer. We built the wall, everything's protected, so now we're just going around like making sure all the path blocks are aligned, making sure everything leads to where it should lead. Just making the village overall look nicer. We're clearing out some excess dirt patches, and doing the opposite, adding dirt where there's like some holes that I made from either prior attempts at things or just naturally occurred during generation. That is what we spend the entire episode doing, and this one also took quite a bit longer than I expected it to. I thought it would only be about half an hour or so. Ended up being about an hour and a half, but you know, I really enjoyed this game, so that's perfectly fine with me. Now, last time I told you guys that I would give you an update on Icelandic water. So I looked it up, it's called Icelandic Glacial is the name of the company. I have not been to the local Kroger since I recorded the last episode, but I found that you can look at their products online, and it looks like they no longer sell it in the water aisle as like packages of bottles of water, but they do sell it in the checkout lanes at like you know, you can get drinks in those little coolers. Apparently it's in one of those at checkout aisle 8. So you know, if you ever find the local Kroger, go to checkout 8 and you can get some Icelandic glacial water. I was very happy to see that they are not out of business, which I was a little worried about because I used to have a favorite sweet tea company. I love sweet tea. At the beginning of the year, I stopped drinking soda, so I've been drinking sweet tea when I go out to dinner and whatnot. A lot of people are like, you know, it's not that much healthier for you. I don't care. I really don't care in the slightest. Sweet tea is wonderful, and I'm a drinker and eat my garlic bread. So, I used to have this favorite sweet tea company called Tradewinds. And they had delicious tea. It wasn't like aggressively sweet like some of the companies make it, but it was sweet enough to taste really good. And it had a darker flavor to it than a lot of sweet teas. I feel like a lot of teas are kind of bright. This one had a very bold, musky, let's say, musky flavor to it. And it was fantastic, but over the years, since when I went into undergrad, they made it and I sold it at the local Kroger. But since I graduated, I think COVID probably took them out is what did it. But they had it my freshman, sophomore year. I studied abroad my first semester of my junior year. Summer of my junior year, we got sent home for the Rona. When I checked back in on it during my senior year, there was no Tradewinds sweet tea anymore. No longer existed. And I was like, oh no, that's so sad. I found a place online where you can get like leftover. I don't want that. That company's been shut down for a couple years. I don't want their, what? That's like 4-year-old tea. Who wants that? I mean, I would consider it, let's be honest. But like, really? There's a business model for that, selling 4-year-old sweet tea. There's some people out here, let me tell you. Now, I have something else. I have something I want to complain about this time. The other night, I was just standing outside talking to a friend. I got bitten by a mosquito. Or, some people say stung by a mosquito, but I think they bite. Yeah, because they have like a little needle face. Regardless, I got attacked by one, and now I have this spot on my hand that itches, and it comes and goes in like bursts. Like I didn't notice it for most of the day, but at one point, about 4 hours ago, I was like, oh, that's itching real bad again. And then it dissipated for a little bit, and now it's back. So this whole episode is really just me fighting the urge to scratch the devil out of my hand. Anyways, so I told you guys last time that we were going to be looking at, or that I was going to be moving here soon. That is still happening. I'm know, no big changes. But I'm in that process of packing, which I think like the first or second episode I was complaining about packing. But now we're at like I have to decide, whereas last time it was like, what are the things I know I'm not going to use for 2 weeks? But the difference between the things you don't need for 2 weeks and the things you don't need for 1 week are like, there's a lot of overlap there. It's the same. So now I'm just looking at my stuff and my totes, and I'm like, I don't know. I've used most of the stuff out in the past week. So I don't know what to pack. I mean, I'm going to pack the books. I know I can get rid of those. I haven't touched them in a week. Great student, I know. But my cooking stuff, I guess I do have some stuff. I've been slowly, like, using things up. Like, I officially used the last of my flour and the last of my sugar. So now the bins that I keep those in are empty. So I guess I can go ahead and start working on a kitchen tote. A tote for all the books. A hobby tote, because I paint. You can probably throw all the painting stuff in a tote. I think it already is for the most part, other than like the easel, which I think I'll have to carry separately regardless. Another thing I'm trying to decide on is the TV, because I considered leaving the TV with my parents. So the house I grew up in has currently 2 living room spaces, and I thought about seeing if my parents wanted to keep the TV that I currently have, because it's one that I purchased like 3 years ago, and I thought about kind of gifting it to them and being like, here you go, here is TV for the second living room, because they only have one for the air quotes main living room. Thought about seeing if they wanted that one, and then I might upgrade, because I think the one I have actually, it's only HD, it's only 720 pixels, but I'm 150% blind, so the difference back then didn't really affect me, but now that I'm like recording videos and whatnot, I'm thinking, you know, do I need to upgrade to 4K? It seems like all the cool kids are, and technically, like, I have the resources, I have the money, I can do it. It's just, do I want to? I'm pretty emotionally attached to my TV. We've gone through a lot together. We went through like 3 years of college and then this first year of not college together. That's a lot. Like, it saw me in my darkest times when like I was knowing full well that I was about to fail a test the next day. Maybe that's a life lesson for all of us. If you know you're going to fail, make sure the TV knows you're going to fail. Because the TV's on a lot, so it can just watch you. And then eventually you'll put together this association of like TV, study. Maybe you can get something going there. That's a horrible idea and would not work in the slightest. But it's one of those ideas they would put on like LinkedIn or something, one of those LinkedIn influencers. They'd put something like, associate the TV with working, so that every time the TV's on, you feel like you need to work, so you can get projects done. And then if you're working every time you're at the TV, you'll get 4 more hours of productivity in per day than someone who doesn't. Whatever other garbage they usually say. It's always about being more productive, and it's never about like enjoying life more. That's the real problem with our current society. Everyone's like, you need to be 5 times as productive. If you look up how to enjoy life, there are resources. If you look up how to be more productive, there are resources. But if you look up like the research side, like who's researched how to live a good life, who's researched how to be productive, it's like all the research is done on productivity, because that's all anyone cares about, is trying to be more productive. And you know what? Not everyone wants to be more productive. Some people are like at a comfortable productivity level, and they just want to live the good life. And some people are like, those are the people who won't succeed. That's fake. That is absolutely fake news. Those people who enjoy life can also be the people that succeed. Okay, Jeff Bezos, no one can convince me that he is not enjoying life at this point. Mans was like, I want to go to space. You know what? I also want to go to space. I just don't have the money to go to space. If I had the money to go to space, I'd just go. and that'd make my life a lot more fun. I'm sure that it made his life a lot more fun. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pretty productive. I don't think anyone can fight against that one. But the difference is, he's productive in a way that benefits him. All the resources and things want you to be more productive in a way that benefits the company that owns you. Wow, you didn't even realize this was an anarchy channel, did you? Well, welcome. Omajon has a bit of anarchist tendencies sometimes. Now seems like a great time to go ahead and remind you to like and subscribe. You may have just heard the ding sound twice. Or if there's probably not enough lag there. So, I forgot to have the speakers in my computer turned off, so that as I'm watching the playback and recording this audio, the ting went off, so the microphone definitely picked that up. So I hope you just get like 2 of those happening in the video, maybe if you like surround sound, I don't know. Either way, you should definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel so that I can make more of these, and you guys can see more of these. My long-term goal is, I guess not long-term, I guess it's actually short-term. I would like to try and get like 200 subscribers by the end of the summer. That's kind of like my first goal is 200, or maybe let's say 250. You gotta have a stretch goal. All those productivity classes I've been taking. Real talk, I don't think I've ever taken one of those. I was in a class where we talked about how to be productive, and it was taught by someone who was not very productive, let's be honest here. It's like they had enough money, so they didn't need to be productive. They just pay other people to be productive for them, and complain that the people they paid weren't productive enough. I'm back down to 1 heart. I think I started last episode on 1.5. I healed up since then, and now I'm at just 1 heart. So yeah, that is true Omajon gameplay right there. And placing a block, destroying the block, placing the block, destroying a block. Just to ultimately destroy it again. I also discover right through here, there's a little section that I didn't realize existed. This little house area right above the area I'm playing at right now. I didn't realize that it was there, but I pick up on it here, and I'm like, oh, that's not easily accessible, and nor is this one. This one I didn't even know existed at all. So, part of my beautifying the village is finishing making it to where like it's accessible. People can actually get there. Both me as the player and my other villagers. Because, you know, what's the fun of having neighbors if they can't just like randomly knock on your door and annoy you to death? So now they can do that to whoever ends up here in this cute little house. Which I will say, prime real estate. You're like inside of a mountain. I'd live there. I decided I wanted this episode to go a little bit slower as well. I was watching back some of my other videos for self-improvement and decided that I didn't like the, what would you call it? The playback speed. I didn't like the playback speed. It felt a little bit too fast. Those I had it going at 300%, so this one I'm backing it down to 250%. I'm trying to decide the right balance between how many cuts should I do, how fast should the playback be. I guess what should the goal be is what I'm looking for. But that's something I'll find out over the course of the next however many videos. For now, I have this wonderful tour of the village for you. I hope you enjoy. Thank you guys for watching today. I had a great time. I hope you did too. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.